Welcome, everyone. Excellent. Welcome to the National Citation Luncheon. We have a great program and an inspirational keynote speaker. But before we get to that, earlier this month, we announced our collegiate chapters and alumni award winners, and we're excited to showcase a few of these award winners today. So I'd like to welcome Mr. Nathan Cordell, our president-elect from the University of Alabama, to introduce our Gold Torch Award winners.
The Gold Torch Award honors chapters that exemplify scholarship, leadership, and service. They are dedicated to Mortarboard, its purpose, and its ideals. These chapters are active on their campus in ways that improve the quality of student life. This year, we have 16 chapters who have won the Gold Torch. At this time, I'll ask that all chapters and collegiate members representing those chapters raise your name tag and stand to be recognized. Please join me in congratulating our Gold Torch Award winners. Thank you all for your hard work and dedication to your chapters and to the organization itself. I would now like to welcome my friend and colleague, Dr. Patience Whitworth, our National Council Vice President from The Ohio State University, to introduce our Excellence in Advising Awards.
Thank you, Nathan. The Excellence in Advising Awards are given to Mortarboard chapter advisors who have demonstrated a commitment to the purpose of Mortarboard and who have gone above and beyond in their work with a collegiate chapter. Nominations are submitted from current collegiate members, and the recipients are announced annually. When an advisor has served over the top for their chapter, when that advisor is nominated year after year for the Excellence in Advising Award, the National Council takes note. The Excellence in Advising Award with Distinction was created to say to advisors, your long-standing advising and leadership have stood the test of time. The Excellence in Advising with Distinction is presented to an advisor who has already received the Excellence in Advising Award at least once and whose exceptional service has uplifted their chapter to lasting excellence. Unfortunately, none of our Excellence in Advising Award winners are in attendance today. They must be working with students on their local campus. Unfortunately, we encourage you to, if you have someone on this list, to give them their congratulations. Now I'd like to welcome our alumni representatives, Mr. Wilson Chan from the University of Louisville and Mr. Muhammad Hill from the University of California, Berkeley, to introduce our Emerging Leaders Award.
The Emerging Leader Award honors an alumni member who was initiated as a collegiate member, is between 1 and 20 years past initiation, has demonstrated remarkable accomplishment in their profession far ahead of others of the same cohort, or are noted for outstanding community service, has shown a constant commitment to the ideals of scholarship, leadership, and service through their profession, and is a role model for other members.
This year, we have 4 Emerging Leader Award winners: Grayson Daniel, Ariel Devora, Jessica Johnson, and Courtney Vick. Unfortunately, none of our Emerging Leader Award winners were able to join us today, but please join me in congratulating our emerging leaders. And congratulations again to all of our award winners. In a little while, Kirsten Fox and Tamika Lovelace will be back to introduce our keynote speaker, Ms. Haley Wagoner. Kaylee Weicker and Michaela Part will assist everyone with lunch and will indicate when your table is ready. At this time, I invite the reserved tables to please move to the buffet. Bon appetit.
Hello again, everybody. It sounds like everyone is having an excellent conversation at lunch. We are glad that you're enjoying each other's company, and we're excited that there'll be more opportunities to connect later this evening at the Student Alumni Mixer and the Candlelight Banquet, but we are going to move on with our program. By all means, feel free to keep eating. We just ask you not to keep talking right now. So, as we gather back, this is a good time to remind everyone and celebrate our dedication to not only scholarship and leadership, but also service. Mortarboard chapters have long strived to leave our communities better than we found them. Throughout this weekend, we've been honored to be joined by Special Olympics Ohio. Special Olympics Ohio creates a sense of connectiveness and in an inclusive culture. They provide a space for individuals, families, and community partners to come together as they focus on the courage, strength, and skill of athletes. Because the need for belonging is always urgent, their signature sports and community-based fundraising events take place throughout the year so that everyone has the opportunity to contribute to be valued members of the communities. Throughout our Mortarboard National Conference, we will continue to work on our service project, Fans in the Stands. Many of you participated as a pre-conference yesterday. Fans in the Stands is a project in which attendees can engage. Special Olympics Ohio has provided all the supplies. They joined us yesterday to show us how to do it. And for those that didn't have the chance to participate, the goal was to make good luck signs, notes for athletes, and so forth. Especially those competing in their upcoming fall games, equestrian, golf, flag football, softball. If you didn't participate, it's not too late. There will be paper and templates. Volunteers can continue to stop by the table out in the exhibit area. You can cut out shapes that will also be used in the performance stations at those games. At the performance stations, athletes will write on their cutouts about how they commit to lead healthier lives. Both of these activities can be done on a drop-in basis, especially during the exhibit time later this afternoon is a great time. So we do hope that each member here will find a way to give in some support to Special Olympics Ohio. They have been an incredible partner this weekend, and we encourage you to meet with them or others to learn how you can support similar organizations in your home campuses and communities. We are pleased at this time to welcome Special Ohio Olympics to our luncheon officially, since they're here all weekend. They are also presenting this afternoon. They will be presenting a professional development session entitled Unified Leadership. This is specifically curated for members without intellectual disabilities to recognize and adapt their inclusive practices they use in clubs, organizations, and communities. Sounds sure like our creating inclusive and belonging environments that we are all striving for on our campuses. So I'm going to ask them to raise their hands or wave as I introduce them. We have Special Olympics Ohio Manager of Athlete Leadership, Andrea Headley. We have two Special Ohio Olympians, athletes. We have Maxwell Dameron, excuse me. And wearing medals around his neck, fresh off the summer games, we have Chris Melvin. Maxwell competes in both winter and spring sports, so I encourage you to meet with him. And Chris also competes in, he has a lot of sports. He'll tell you all about them. But I encourage you to talk with them about all of their sports and athletics events that they do. Which brings us to our National Citation speaker. And before she comes to the stage, I'm going to introduce another fantastic Mortarboard member, Tamika Lovelace, to the stage, who will introduce our keynote speaker. Mika was initiated into the Jane K. Smith chapter at San Diego State University in 2021. I got to meet her that first summer. She attended national conference. It was virtual that year, but she was still one of our most engaged students. She joined a few committees. She hasn't stopped joining mortar board committee since, and boy, are we grateful. That summer, one of those committees was the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, which has since become the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging Committee, thanks to the leadership of that committee, including Tamika. She has been a very active member for the past 3 years, including serving as a CAB at last year's national conference. She did get to also attend the in-person conference in Little Rock in 2022. And she currently serves as the DEI B Committee Chair. She flew in late last night, probably around midnight. You got to see her preside over the mock initiation earlier, but I'm glad to officially welcome her to the conference and to the stage. She not only is the chair of the DEI and B Committee, but she was also one of last year's Starlington recipients, which this year's will be presented at tonight's dinner. So Tamika, welcome.
Thank you so much, Kirsten. It is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce our keynote speaker for this afternoon, Ms. Haley Wagner. Haley was tapped as an honorary member by the Black Mass chapter at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln in 2024. She currently serves as a specialist in the Government Relations Department at Special Olympics International. In her role, she creates resources and training for athletes to get involved in their local or state government. In 2013, Haley advocated to have the R word removed from Nebraska state documents and replaced with the term intellectual disability. At the time, she worked with the Nebraska state senator to introduce the bill and later testified for the bill. She held a rally in front of Nebraska State Capitol to have senators pledge not to use the R word and to pass the R word bill. In June 2013, Haley got to see the bill become a law when the governor signed the document. That was Haley's favorite memory thus far. Not only does Haley work for Special Olympics, but she's also an athlete as well. She won a gold medal in tennis at the 2018 USA Special Olympic Games, as well as silver and bronze medals at the 2022 Games. Prior to joining the Special Olympics, Haley worked at a bakery where she decorated cakes and wrapped baked goods. I'm gonna need some. She resides in Lincoln, Nebraska, and enjoys playing tennis, soccer, and basketball. Please join me in giving the warmest of welcomes to a woman of strength and determination, a social justice warrior, and an inspiration to us all, Ms. Haley Wagner.
Hello, everyone. My name is Haley Wagner, and I'm a Special Olympics athlete and a disability advocate. I'm honored to be here today to share with you my story of how Special Olympics has changed my life and given me opportunities to grow as an athlete and a leader. Before I share my personal journey, let me tell you what Special Olympics is and why it matters. Special Olympics is a global movement that unleashes the human potential of people with intellectual disabilities. Through the power of sport, Special Olympics provides year-round training and competition in 32 Olympic-type sports for more than 6 million athletes and unified sports. Partners in over 190 countries and territories. Special Olympics also offers health, education, and leadership programs that empower athletes and promote social inclusion and respected for people of all abilities. Before I share my experience as an athlete, I would like to share with you the ESPN recap of the 2018 USA Games.
to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are.
I'm asking you, athletes, to show the world what it looks like to lead from the heart. Franny, do you have a message for all the athletes?
I love you. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat of drum. I just want to make my family proud.
I feel so happy to be able to compete with a group of guys that I love.
They said I would never walk, jump, or run. I just proved them all wrong.
You did good. Thank you. You as well.
We are bursting through the barricades and reaching for the sun. Yeah, that's what we've become. Won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us. For your glory.
No matter what your disability is, you can compete, and if you train as hard as you have, you can win gold just like I did.
I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me.
Now that Now that you know a little bit more about Special Olympics, I like to share my personal experience within this incredible movement. I started as an athlete in my home state of Nebraska 19 years ago while I was in high school. It all began when I advocated to my resource teacher to create a team at our Lincoln East High School. With my teacher's support, we started a Special Olympics basketball team. From there, I have played soccer, tennis, and golf. My all-time favorite sport is tennis. I have proudly represented the state of Nebraska at 3 Special Olympics USA Games: Nebraska in 2010, Seattle in 2018, and Orlando in 2022. The USA Games in Orlando was particularly special for me. I was one of 9 athletes who helped create the USA Games logo. As a cake decorator, I piped my design with thickened paint. It was one of the best experiences of my life. At the same games, I earned 2 silver medals in the highest division in tennis. For the past 4 years, I've been part of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln UNL Unified Club. Unified Sports brings together people with and without intellectual disabilities to be part of a team. We play intramurals and participate in fun activities on campus. It feels like I'm part of college life without officially being a student. While playing intramurals is a key component of the club, the social aspect is equally important. After games, athletes and unified partners gather to socialize, creating a strong sense of community. This is why I joined UNL Unified Club. My favorite memory so far is playing during the halftime of the men's and women's basketball game. I'll never forget that moment. Shooting at a basket was icing on the cake. I tear up when I think about this group. I have built long-lasting relationships that I wouldn't have found if I joined this club. This group has given me my first true unified experience, where students truly understand the game and how to play with all abilities. It has been an amazing way to interact. I look forward to every weekly gathering. Every Wednesday with the UNL Unified Club is a highlight of my week. But my journey of growth and advocacy extends beyond sports and social activities. Before working at Special Olympics, I worked at a bakery for 15 years. For the first 5 years, I didn't engage in full conversations with coworkers and supervisor, though I had to talk to customers. Everything changed when I joined a leadership program through the Special Olympics. There, I discovered how to advocate for myself and gain confidence. After that, I went to work and I had a full conversation with a coworker who couldn't believe it. From that moment, I didn't stop talking. I joined a Nebraska Youth Committee to further develop my advocacy skills, which sparked my journey in advocating for people with disabilities. Now, I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the R word. For those who aren't, I'm referring to the outdated term retard, which was formerly used to describe people with intellectual disabilities. The R word is not only medically and socially inaccurate, but it's also deeply hurtful and demeaning. And just so you know, it was extremely hard to say that word out loud to you. The reason I'm bringing this up is because at a conference I attended, I learned that several other states had removed the R word from their state documents. This was part of a larger movement to promote dignity and respect for people with disabilities. I was curious to investigate if Nebraska had done the same. And unfortunately, they hadn't. This discovery deeply troubled me and inspired me to take action. Determined to make a difference, I decided to lead the effort to draft a bill to remove the R word from Nebraska state documents. During my research, I found out that a Nebraska senator was already planning to start this process. I reached out to him to offer my help in introducing the bill. We worked together and introduced the bill in January of 2013. The support we received was overwhelming, and the bill passed with flying colors. One of the most memorable moments of my advocacy journey was witnessing the governor sign the bill into law in June of 2013. Seeing the tangible impact of our efforts was extremely empowering. It reinforced my passion and dedication to advocating not only for myself, but for others. This experience indicated how impactful it is to use my voice to create a positive change and highlighted the importance of advocating for the rights for people with disabilities. I would like to show you now a video of some nations of what people can do with disabilities.
Hey bartender, you assume that I cannot drink a margarita, so you don't serve me a margarita? So I don't drink a margarita. Your assumption becomes reality. And parents, you assume that I cannot live on my own, so you don't encourage me to live on my own. So I don't live on my own. Coach, you assume that I cannot hit harder, so you don't train me to hit harder. So I don't hit harder. And teacher, you assume that I cannot learn Shakespeare, so you don't teach me Shakespeare.
Old MacDonald had a farm.
So I don't learn Shakespeare. E-I-E-I-O. But hey, if all your assumptions become reality, then assume that I can drink a margarita. You serve me a margarita, so I drink a margarita. Assume that I can live on my own, so I live on my own. Assume that I can hit harder, so I hit harder. Assume that I can learn Shakespeare. So, what fools these mortals be? I learned fucking Shakespeare. You assume I can swear, right? Assume that I can do that job, that I can go to parties, that I can have sex, that I can be on stage. Assume that I can. So maybe I will.
This experience also motivated me to speak out and advocate for the use of appropriate disability language. It is essential to approach interactions with individuals with disabilities with sensitivity and respect. One of the most important aspects of disability etiquette is to avoid making assumptions or asking intrusive questions. For instance, asking someone about their specific disability or stating that they don't look like they have a disability can be uncomfortable and disrespectful. This leads us to the concept of person-first language, which highlights the independence of the person rather than their disability. For example, it's more respectful to say a person with a disability rather than differently abled. This approach acknowledges that disability is just one aspect of a person's identity and not their defining characteristic. Another critical point is to use inclusive and respectful language. Terms like special needs are outdated and can be seen as patronizing. Instead, use people with disabilities to convey respect and equality. Disability is not something to be ashamed of or hidden. It's simply part of the diverse human experience. Embracing inclusive language and attitudes fosters a more inclusive society where all individuals, regardless of ability, feel valued and seen. Oftentimes, people make assumptions about what individuals with disabilities can or cannot do. I'm here to challenge those assumptions. Each person, regardless of their abilities, has a unique talents, skills, and potential. Given the opportunity and support, individuals with disabilities can achieve remarkable things. As someone who has experienced these assumptions firsthand, I can tell you that I drive a car, I have a job, I'm living on my own, and I have and will continue traveling alone. I can attest to a profound impact of inclusion and the importance of advocating for equal opportunities for all. Inclusion is the core value of Special Olympics. It means that everyone is welcome, valued, respected, regardless of their abilities. Inclusion assures that people with and without disabilities can play, learn, and work together. Without inclusion, our society would look very different. People with disabilities would be marginalized, unvalued, and segregated from our community. For me, inclusion means that I'm playing sports, I'm at work, and I'm participating in a community setting where people don't see a disability, instead they just see me. Inclusion means I can just be myself. I see a world where people with disabilities don't have to fight for services, can afford to live independently in the community, and are recognized as individuals by society. But inclusion is just not beneficial for people with disabilities. It enriches our entire society. When we embrace inclusion, we foster a culture of empathy, understanding, and collaboration. We all benefit from the diverse perspectives and talents that people with disabilities bring to the table. Inclusion strengthens our communities and helps build a more just, equitable world. I encourage all of you to champion inclusion in your own lives, whether it's in your schools, workplaces, or neighborhoods. Make an effort to create environments where everyone feels valued and respected. Together, we can build a society where everyone, regardless of their abilities, has the opportunity to thrive. Inclusion is worth the investment. And as a leaders and role models, you have the opportunity to drive this change. As members of the Mortarboard Association, you are leaders and scholars who are committed to the ideals of scholarship, leadership, and service. You have the power and the responsibility to make a meaningful difference in your communities and beyond. You can help by reaching out to your state's Special Olympics program to volunteer, coach, become a unified partner, or cheer as fans in the stands. I encourage you to engage with your college unified club. Once you experience a Special Olympics event, you will want to come back for more. By being a friend and partner to Special Olympics athletes, you can celebrate their achievements and abilities and help foster a more inclusive world. Let me share a brief story to show the impact you can have. 4 years ago, I met a college student named Sophie who decided to create the Unified Club at UNL. At first, she was unsure about what to expect, but that quickly changed when she formed a bond with Special Olympics athletes and, of course, me. While we're not officially unified partners, we have built a close relationship that goes beyond athletics and has transformed into a strong friendship. Sophie encouraged me to step out of my comfort zone, challenged me to push my limits, and supports me in all aspects of life. She's not only a great teammate, but even better friend, and is the reason I have been part of UNL Unified for so long. Her passion for Unified Club and her honest friendship are also why I'm the first honorary member of the Mortarboard Association without a bachelor's degree. Thank you, Sophie. You too can create such powerful connections and leave a lasting impact, just like Sophie has done for me. Embracing inclusion and actively supporting Special Olympics helps shape a society where everyone can contribute and succeed. Your efforts will not only benefit others, but will also bring personal joy and growth, I guarantee it. Reflecting on my own journey, I have made amazing strides to get where I am today. Similarly, Special Olympics has made significant progress over the past 50 years, providing opportunities for people with intellectual disabilities to fully participate in their communities. However, no matter how much I and Special Olympics has grown over the years, there's still so much to do, so much to be done to generate awareness, educate lawmakers, expand our reach, and continue integrating resources and programs that allow people with disabilities to fully participate in their communities. In conclusion, I want to thank you all for listening to my story and for supporting Special Olympics. This organization has greatly shaped my life and has helped me achieve many goals and milestones. As a proud Special Olympics athlete and athlete leader, I hope my story has inspired you to consider getting involved with Special Olympics and embracing the spirit of inclusion and respect for everyone. Whether it's volunteering your time, advocating for policy change, or simply spreading awareness, your actions can make a difference in creating a more inclusive society. Special Olympics is about the ability, not the disability. Together, we have the power to shape a world where everyone is valued and can contribute meaningfully. Thank you for your support, and let's continue this journey toward a brighter, more inclusive world.
Thank you, Ms. Wagner. We are honored to hear from you and to learn about your advocacy for inclusion and equality for all people. This is particularly moving as we think about your role as a Special Olympian, as we have been seeing and celebrating the Olympics in Paris this year. Your personal testimony is inspiring, and we are so grateful to have you here to speak to our delegation. I'm pleased to be joined by National President Cassandra Lucas to present to you with our National Citation.
Mortar Board's first national citation was presented in 1973 to Congressperson Martha G. Griffiths for her role in steering the Equal Rights Amendment towards passage in the House of Representatives. It has been presented since that time to many outstanding leaders and believers in equity and education, like Congressperson Barbara Jordan, Dr. Maya Angelou, President Jimmy Carter, First Ladies Rosalind Carter, Barbara Bush and Laura Bush, Surgeon General Antonia Novello, astronauts Dr. Sally Ride and Ellen Ochoa, elected official Bushra Amawala, entertainers and philanthropists Ellen Alda, LeVar Burton, and Mr. Rogers, and human rights advocates Dr. Brian Stevenson, Saul Flores, and Carlotta Walls-Lanier. We believe you stand in their company and hope you will accept this tribute. Thank you for being here today and all that you have done to live a life of service that we can aspire to emulate. Please join me in congratulating Ms. Wagner on her national citation. So proud. Mortar Board and National Citation. All right, well, we're gonna switch gears here as we wrap up our National Citation lunch, and I'm inviting the co-chairs of our Nominations and Credentialing Committee, Faith Berard from the Cap and Gown chapter at Denison University, and Alex Mueller from the Lux chapter at Case Western Reserve University, to announce our new student representatives at large.
Thank you, Cass. I am so excited to share the results of the Student Representative at Large elections. As a reminder, we are electing 2 collegiate members to serve on this year's National Council.
In total, we received 75 votes from our official delegates, and the Nominations and Credentialing Committee reviewed and certified the official tally of the votes. Good news is that we have officially selected our 2 new student representatives for the National Council. It is my distinct pleasure to share that Neil Nanya Sinha from Carleton College has been elected to our National Council. Congratulations. Thank you.
And congratulations to Sierra K. Misselhorn from the University of San Diego, who's also been elected.
Congratulations.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you. It's all right. We'll grab it later. We'll grab it later. It's all. We'll grab it later. All right. Thank you to all the students who ran for student representative. We hope that you find other ways to stay involved with Mortar Board at the national level, and we'll tell you all about them throughout the rest of the weekend. And thank you to the Nominations and Credentialing Committee for the work that you did during this process. I now. Yep. Okay. Thank you, Chair. Exactly. All right, I now invite Katie, right? Yes, Katie Zilzinski to walk us through the rest of the day. Did I do it? Close enough? Welcome. Thanks. You've got a script. Just keep reading it. You're good. Okay.
Hi, everyone. Now we welcome you to participate in the grad fair and exhibit hall. If you did not receive your passport, your orange sheet, come grab one at the registration desk. Hint, there are prizes. If you were a student or chapter who received funding, please also stop by the registration table to sign a thank you note, which will be sent to our generous donors who made your attendance possible. If you would like to be part of the Mortarboard Singers, please join Katie Chick and Barb Arnold in meeting room 35 at 1:30 p.m. The Resolutions and Recommendations Committee will be meeting at 2 p.m. in meeting room 22. After that, professional leadership development sessions will begin at 3 p.m. And at 4:30, the collegiate members will meet with their regions. After that, we'll have a break for the candlelight banquet. And then we will see everyone at the pre-banquet reception beginning at 5:45. Thank you.
All right, thank you all. This concludes our National Citation Luncheon. And as we said, at 1:30, we have next things for you all to do. Thank you so much.